A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Let us start with the first snippet. Alleged anti-India slogan, man shop raised over accusation against son. How many words are there to be focused on? The first one, alleged, we have got many a time. Slogan, man shop raised over accusation against son. Good morning. We have got the word allege, allegation, accuse, accusation. Wish you all happy Shivaratri at the outset. Thank you very much. And allegation, accusation, say someone has done something wrong without proof. We have got many a time. Anti-India, when you see the prefix anti, A-N-T-I, means against. But there's another prefix. What is that one? Anti, A-N-T-E. A-N-T-E means before. Based on that, antenatal, postnatal. Natal means birth. Antenatal, before birth. Postnatal, after birth. But here, anti-India slogan. Against India, someone has raised slogans. And when you see the word slogan, you have to think of protest, procession, slogans, placards, crowd, mob, go haywire, helter-skelter, loot, plunder, attack, all these words. Man's shop raised. Usually, the word raise has two or three meanings. One meaning anger, lot of anger. He did it in a fit of rage, means a lot of anger. But in this context, raise means demolish. It goes with a shop. Usually it goes with a building. The building has been erased, means what? Demolished. Man shop raised over accusation against a son. A minor son said something against India. Based on that, the father's shop has been erased. It is about that. Coming to the second snippet, move for wage. I'm sure you all know the word wage. Wages. Bulldoze also you have to recollect. Wages. Here, move for wage. What does it mean? You can see a few women over here. Domestic work survey. Traditionally, if you take the people at the grassroots level, downtrodden, backward, underprivileged people, the women who belong to the grassroots levels, they resort to taking up domestic work. This says, it seems there's some change. What is that change? Women shift from domestic work. They stopped doing domestic work. That means working as a maid servant. They started taking up works either in a factory or in a shop. Here you can see it looks like a garment factory. All these women stitching and sorting out change in the profession. An important one you may get as a passage. Here we have another snippet. Ex-CJI Lalit tells panel, simultaneous polls bill will fail legal challenge. Simultaneous poll, this has been in the limelight, this topic. You may get as a passage, simultaneous poll. Based on that statement given by ex-Chief Justice of India, Lalit, what does he say? He tells panel, simultaneous polls bill will fail. Legal challenge. Means what? Legally, it may be defeated and it may not see the light. That's what it says. Coming to the next one, data point, data, datum, data. But data can be can take a singular verb, can take a plural verb. India's sole nation. Sole. Solo means what? Alone, single. Sole also means the same. Alone, only one. India's sole nation to curb. Curb means to restrict. Curb net over communal unrest. At the outset, not easy to understand. But if you read very carefully, imagine in some country there's some sort of unrest, communal unrest, and immediately what today we live in the world of interconnectedness because of internet. Immediately rumors spread like wildfire and the impact may be multifold. To prevent that, to thwart that, governments try to stop internet access. It talks about that. India's sole nation, only nation to curb, to control, to restrict net over communal unrest. Most of these shutdowns occurred in Manipur. Curb net means resorting to shutdown of internet. And this happened in our country, only country to do that, control successfully against communal clashes. And where did it happen? Manipur. Coming to sports related snippet, local Ranji final. High flying Kerala takes on Vidarbha. All about Ranji Trophy. Let us go to the main headline. Same news has been coming for the last 2 or 3 days about rescue operation, collapse of tunnel in Telangana state and rescue operation. This is a third day, same news headline. But today, what does it say? Slush, there's an important word. Slush and water seepage hinder Telangana tunnel rescue efforts. Yesterday also we got the same news, I guess. Cave-in, yes. But here we have got a new word. What is that new word? Slush. Slush literally means partially melted snow. But here we are not talking about partially melted snow. Here what does it mean? Another meaning of the word slush. Thick liquid. We also use the word slush. But in this context, it is like mud and water, very thick. We use the word slush. Water seepage, water percolating, passing from one layer to another layer, we say seepage, water seepage. Two reasons, hinder. Yesterday also we got, once you see the word hinder, you should think of synonyms like hurdle, hinder, impediment, bottleneck, all these words. They hinder Telangana tunnel rescue efforts. We have another headline here that goes with Delhi news. APP caused Delhi Exchequer a loss of 2,000 crore. Comptroller Auditor General, CAG, the report says. APP caused a loss, how many? To the tune of 2,000 crore. And there's one important word, caused Delhi Exchequer. Exchequer is a government department which keeps money, receives money and distributes money. We use the word exchequer. That deals with the finances. It is related to CAG report, an important report. Now let us go to one more snippet this side. Tamil Nadu CM calls an all-party meet on delimitation. This delimitation also has been in the limelight related to elections and constituencies. Regarding that, Tamil Nadu CM calls an all-party meet on delimitation. Political news. A plebiscite was promised during J&K's accession. Two important words. First one, plebiscite. Have you heard of this any time? This is an important word. What is plebiscite? Plebiscite means on a particular issue, entire electorate of a particular region or a country, they vote. That is known as plebiscite. There is another word, referendum. Plebiscite, a referendum, two important words. What do they mean? Imagine there's an important issue and the country has to decide whether to go this side or that side. Then they give the questionnaire to the public, electorate, and the public of the electorate of a particular region, they vote on a particular issue, single issue. That is known as plebiscite, that is known as a referendum. I appreciate your response. Both the words are very important. They go with polity, political system. Plebiscite and referendum. Another word, accession. Accession means taking some area or region and get into possession. We use using force. That is known as accession. It talks about some promise. India, US are in talks to mitigate impact of tariffs. All our students know the word mitigate. They have the words synonyms at the fingertips. Mitigate means to reduce the impact of something. And what are the synonyms? Mitigate, alleviate, assuage. We have got many a time. Reduce. Impact of tariffs. Today, Donald Trump, he has become a little unpopular according to the recent survey popularity rating. It came down, plummeted to 1 point something, slowly becoming very unpopular in the US, Donald Trump, because of his policies. One of the policies, tariffs imposed on Canada, China, India, other countries. Based on that, they are going to have talks to reduce the impact of, mitigate the impact of tariffs. Strands of all hues. There's a beautiful pic over here. See, when you see all these pics on the front page of the Hindu, they remind us of the rich cultural heritage of the country. India is known as a country that shows or exhibits or displays unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. And all these pics show the diverse cultures and very rich cultural heritage of India. Here you have a beautiful pic, colorful pic, strands of all hues. There's one important word, hues. The word hues means the shades. It goes with colors. And you can see all the shades. A woman selling the strands, strands of all hues. All these are strands. Mela sale, a vendor selling threads at the Sangam on the eve of the Mahashivratri festival, celebrated as part of the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj on Tuesday. On the eve of Mahashivratri, the woman is selling strands of holy threads, not ordinary threads, holy threads, though colorful. All these are holy threads and strands of all hues. We have another headline. US sides with Russia at UN, calls for swift end to war. Swift end to war. What is the meaning of swift? Swift means quick. To do something swiftly means what? To do something quickly. Swift end to war. Call for, demand. We have got many a time. Then we have two headlines. One says, Congress ex-MP 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐇𝐢𝐧𝐝𝐮 sentenced to second life term in anti-Sikh riots case. Again, we have the prefix anti-Sikh riots, clashes. When Indira Gandhi was assassinated way back in 1984, Indira Gandhi was assassinated, and that time there were riots in the capital city, that is Delhi, and many Sikhs were massacred, brutally killed, and women were raped. There was a total chaotic situation for a few days. And some people have been blamed. Perhaps he is one among them. Congress ex-MP 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐇𝐢𝐧𝐝 sentenced to second life term in anti-Sikh riots case. I don't know how many of you know about this, but it was a major thing after the assassination of Indira Gandhi. Supreme Court reinstates Bihar RJD MLC, says ouster was highly excessive, disproportionate. A decision taken by the Supreme Court to reinstate, give someone back the same position, reinstates a Bihar RJD MLC. And the Supreme Court says ouster, usually people say ouster, no, ouster. 1984, not September, November. 1984, November. Indira Gandhi was assassinated by her bodyguards. That is very, I don't know how many of you know that, but we cannot go deep into that because we'll be going off the track. SC reinstates Bihar RJD MLC, says ouster was highly excessive, disproportionate. Because the court felt something was highly disproportionate and excessive. There is a saying in English, what is it? Too good is too bad. And based on that, Supreme Court has reinstated. November, that's right. That's all from the front page of the Hindu paper. Today's editorial, an important editorial. It's all about clash between humans and wildlife. You may get as a passage, one of the reasons, loss of habitat. And you're going to improve your comprehension skill, contextual awareness, work on mini-mocks, consolidate your grammar knowledge, and learn effective words. Today we have got a few effective words. When you see the word habitat, habitat means the place where, ideal place, where a plant or animal can survive. Usually we say from a layman's point of view, the home of a plant or animal. Here, part of speech noun meaning the natural home or environment of an animal, plant, or other organism. Every plant, every animal can survive in a particular region. That is in a particular area. That is known as the plant's habitat, home, or animal's habitat. But whenever you see a word that goes with wildlife or environment, especially wildlife, you have to recollect important words like flora. Flora means what? You can respond, fauna. And today, many plants and animals are endangered. And we don't do anything, then what happens? And many plants and animals are on the brink of extinction, extinct. And one of the reasons we use poaching. And they try to kill because they want the shells or the skin, and based on that you have to recollect. All these words are very important. Habitat, flora, fauna, endanger. Geoparda is no doubt, Malaysia, it's a good word, but when we talk about plants and animals, flora and fauna, wildlife, we prefer the word endanger. Here, flora means plants of a region, fauna, animals of a region, endangered, threatened, or jeopardized, extinct, to disappear from the planet Earth. Poaching, illegal killing of plants, animals for skin and all. And when they try to smuggle and customs officials seize, we use the word confiscate, and the smuggled goods are called contraband. All these words you should recollect. Genus, species. Example, the destruction of forest has led to the loss of habitat for many species. They have given many a time bank exams. You may get also loss of habitat as a passage. They have given, they may give. Today the topic is in the limelight. And what is the reason? Environs means the surroundings. Good Murli, you should recollect all the related words. And why this loss of habitat? Because of deforestation, one of the reasons. Word forms, habitats, plural. Word combinations, natural habitat, wildlife habitat, habitat destruction, habitat loss. Word usage, commonly used in environmental and ecological contexts. Synonyms, environment, home, dwelling, territory. Antonyms, displacement, artificial environment. Not exactly. But the word dwelling you should focus on. What is the reason? In the western parts of the world, and if you take the US, the UK, the word dwellings has become outdated. We still use in this part of the world dwelling. Dwell has many meanings. Here, dwellings means places of residence, one meaning, and dwell as a verb means to think deeply. And when someone thinks a lot about the past, we say, don't dwell on the past. Don't brood over the past. These two expressions are very important. I would like to repeat. Don't dwell on the past. Don't brood over the past. Means don't think too much about the past. Antonym, simple words. Culling is an important word. I don't know how many of you know. We have got for the first time in the recent past. Meaning. Noun, it can be a noun, it can be a verb, part of speech. Noun, the selective killing or removal of animals to control population. Sometimes what happens, proliferation of a particular species. Proliferate means to multiply rapidly. A particular species keeps on multiplying. That will make a negative impact on the ecosystem, and it will have ecological implications. Then what we should do, we should stop them. We have to remove or kill. That is known as culling. Verb, the act of reducing a population by selective elimination. Usually it goes with pests. It goes with unwanted plants or animals. Farmers are calling for, demanding, call for demand. Farmers are calling for the culling of wild boars to protect crops. You know, farmers have a problem. They face threat from elephants, from wild boars. Their crop, whatever they try to produce, they get affected, badly affected because of one birds at one stage. But elephants and wild boars, major threat. Based on that, they demand the culling of wild boars. Word forms, cull is a verb, it is a noun, noun as well as a verb. It's a regular verb. Culling can be used as a noun. Word combinations: wildlife culling, selective culling, cull animals, and word usage often used in environmental and agricultural context. As I said, crops get affected because of wild boars, agricultural context. Elephants also, same thing. Synonyms: slaughter, but slaughter has another meaning. Remove, eliminate, eradicate. These words we have got many a time. Preserve, conserve, protect. Why slaughter? Slaughter has a different connotation. There is a compound noun, slaughterhouse. Have you heard of this? Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse is a place where animals are killed, especially goat, sheep, all these. That place is called slaughterhouse. Complacency, an important word, especially while preparing for competitive exams and also in life. Complacency is very dangerous. One should never be complacent. What exactly does it mean? Part of speech noun, meaning a feeling of self satisfaction, often without awareness of potential dangers. Imagine someone achieves a little. Based on that, the person feels very happy, completely satisfied, does not try to reach higher levels. That is known as complacency. Feeling happy about small, small things, not trying to go to the higher level or the next level. Example: the decrease in wildlife attacks should not lead to complacency. Imagine the number wildlife attacks, the number has come down. It should not lead to complacency. Means we should not relax, we should not be happy. We have to do something to eradicate completely. Word forms: complacent, complacently. Word combinations: sense of complacency, dangerous complacency, avoid complacency. One more. Word usage often used in context involving safety, politics, or work ethics. Safety and work ethics appropriate. Synonyms: self satisfaction, smugness, an important word. You should focus after the session. Antonyms: vigilance, awareness, caution. But they have other connotations. Optimistic, okay. Adept. Adept, we have got many a time. And the moment you see adopt or adapt or adapt, you should think of the remaining words. Adopt. Adopt means complacency is bad. Who is this Mahadevu? Complacency is not a good quality. Complacency has a negative connotation. I will give you one example, then perhaps you understand. Imagine someone got the selection as a junior assistant and he has a potential, he has a time, he or she has a potential, the time to prepare for SBI PO, SBI junior assistant, got the job. But okay, I'm happy I got the job as junior assistant. He stops there, that is nothing but complacency. But though he got the selection, junior assistant, he works hard to become the probation officer. That is a good thing. That way you have to take. Meaning highly skilled or proficient, a person skilled in something. The tribal communities are adept at coexisting with wildlife. They know how to survive in the forest. They belong to the forest, adept at existing, coexisting with wildlife. Word forms: adeptly, adeptness. Both the forms are important. Word combinations: adept at something, preposition at. He is adept at problem solving. Oh, that's a good quality. Highly adept. She is highly adept at negotiations. This is also a good quality. Word usage commonly used to describe skills or expertise. An important word. Synonyms: skilled, proficient, expert, capable. Antonyms: inept, unskilled, inexperienced. Exacerbate. Bank exams have given many a time. What does it? An important word. What does it mean? But first part of speech, verb, regular verb, meaning to make a problem or situation worse. Imagine already a situation is bad. Someone takes it from bad situation to worse situation. Then we use the word exacerbate. Habitat destruction has exacerbated human-wildlife conflicts, made it worse. Word forms: exacerbated, past form; exacerbating, present participle; exacerbation, noun. Word combination, exacerbate a problem, exacerbate tensions, problem, and one more is there. Situation also you can say. Word usage used in medical, social, and political contexts. Synonyms worsen, intensify, aggravate, heighten. Antonyms alleviate, ease, mitigate, improve. All our students know alleviate, bad becomes worse. Alleviate, assuage, mitigate. I guess that is the last one. Oh, one more is there. There is also a new word we have got for the first time. Feral. Have you heard of this any time? Part of speech adjective meaning wild or untamed, often referring to animals that were once domesticated. Some animal once domesticated, now no longer domesticated, they are wild. Then we use the word feral. It's a new word we have got for the first time. I appreciate your response. Example, the government has allowed the killing of feral wild boars. They must have domesticated once wild boars, but now we use the word wild, means not domesticated. So killing of that, tame. There are two words you have to know. When we use the word wild animals, one expression, and we also use domestic animals. We have, when you talk about animals, wild animals on the one hand, domestic animals on the other hand. Then you ask the question, what is the difference between wild animals and domestic animals? Domestic animals are nothing but animals that have been tamed. Now comes the question, tame means what? Tame means control. Have you got the meaning? Who asked that question? Mahadevu. Have you got it? Tame means to control. Some animals we can control. Some animals we cannot control. And any animal that has been controlled and part of man's lifestyle, like cows, dogs, horses, all these come under domesticated animals and tamed animals. They listen to us. Word forms, ferality, noun, rare. Word combinations, feral animals, feral instincts, feral state. These two combinations are very important. Instincts, feral instinct means wild instincts. That they may give in the exam, not easy to make out. Word usage, frequently used in zoology and wildlife management. Synonyms, wild, untamed, savage, undomesticated. But savage has another connotation. Savage means wild, but it goes with, imagine a person behaves like an animal, in a brutal manner kills someone else or attacks someone else, then we say savage nature, savage, uncivilized, barbaric, all these words are one particular group, not acceptable. Undomesticated. Antonyms, domesticated, tamed, and trained. Exactly. That's all about the effective vocabulary, editorial vocabulary. Today's editorial, an important editorial. You may ask why. Today, when you look around across the world, we have certain burning issues or burning topics. And if you want to keep yourself abreast of the latest developments, you should know what exactly the burning topics are. One of the burning topics, loss of habitat. Many plants and animals have been losing. I have used present perfect continuous, means going on, started in the past, in the present, may go into future. They have been losing their habitats. And based on that, we have a concept today called loss of habitat. And because of this loss of habitat, there's a clash or there's a conflict between man and wildlife. In that process, what happens, because of wildlife may enter the regions where humans live, and these interactions may result in deaths also. And recently I read out yesterday, old couple in Kerala got killed by tuskers, elephants. That is a stimulus to write this editorial. Wild and safe. Very difficult to make out. Wild and safe. But let us see the main idea. Habitat fragmentation has led to rise in human-wildlife conflict. As I said, today it's an important topic, human-wildlife conflict. You will get as a passage or close test or parajumble potential is there. And what is the reason for this human-wildlife conflict? Habitat fragmentation. There are two things: has led, present perfect in active voice. Lead, led, has led to what? Rise. Again, after many days, we have got rise, rose, risen, intransitive verb, irregular verb. Raise, raised, raised, transitive verb and regular verb. You should know the difference. And here, generally we talk about loss of habitat, but this talks about fragmentation of habitat. Fragmentation means what? Division. Dividing a particular region into smaller parts. Dividing a thing into smaller parts, fragments, small parts. Fragmentation of habitat, that is also a major reason for this conflict. Recent human fatalities, we got this word yesterday, if you guys remember. Fatal. Do you remember? Fatal means what? Causing death, dangerous. Recent human fatalities due to wild animal attacks deep inside forest, in forest fringe human habitations. Fringe means border. Fringe means what? Border. Forest fringe human habitations and even within villages have highlighted. The subject is here. What is the subject? Recent human fatalities. That is the subject. In between, so many words are there, phrases. Have highlighted. Fatalities have highlighted. Present perfect active voice. Have highlighted what? Growing human wildlife conflict in Kerala, where nearly 29% of the land is forested. This is amazing. Take it as 30%. 30% of Kerala land is forested. That's why it is known as God's own country. Everywhere you see greenery. Kerala is known for its greenery, and one of the reasons, Western Ghats. If you take Western Ghats, they are known for rainforests. You all know the famous rainforest, Amazon rainforest. But we also have rainforest in our country, and one region, Western Ghats, and Kerala belongs to Western Ghats. And you come across rare species like hornbilled. Have you heard of this bird? Some unique birds we have, and also we have unique animals over there. Exotic, very good. Who is that? Madhavi, I appreciate. Exotic has two meanings. One meaning foreign, another meaning unique. When you go to Amazon rainforest, you see unique animals, exotic animals. Even Kerala, you come across Western Ghats. Hornbill, exactly. Hornbill festival is also there. Good Vishnu, I appreciate that. They organize a festival, Hornbill festival. And there's a lion-tailed monkey also that belongs to the Silent Valley, which is in Kerala. A lot of species, exotic species are there. With a dry spell, we have got many a time. No rains for some time, then what is the expression we have to use? Dry spell. But dry spell has another meaning. Imagine Nagaland also, that side as well as this side. Both the places you come across. Who is this? Mahadevu, yes. Not restricted to one particular region. And coming to this dry spell, imagine there's a sports person, someone like a popular batsman. For some time, no runs, no centuries. Then we say dry spell. Also, we also say bad patch. He is going through a bad patch, or he has seen a dry spell. He is experiencing a dry spell. No titles, no nothing outstanding. But here goes with rains. With a dry spell and an unusually hot summer expected, urgent measures are needed to prevent further escalation. Escalate means to increase, go to a higher level. Escalation of this conflict. What is this conflict? Human-wildlife conflict, which now has political, social, and environmental dimensions. It should belong to environment. It should belong to social, but now it has taken a multi-dimensional thing. Political, social, and environmental. The Kerala government is facing criticism for its perceived inability to manage wildlife. Perceive means to observe, to feel, to observe, to think. Perceived inability to manage wildlife. It seems Kerala government is being criticized because perception is it is unable to manage wildlife. It has this flack also you can think of. Groups such as the Kerala Independent Farmers Association and sections of the church advocate for culling wildlife, citing an alleged population boom. Some groups have demanded culling of wildlife, and the reason they have given population boom means what? Increase, proliferation. However, Forest Department data suggest otherwise. Contrasting information, Forest Department data suggest, here used as a plural of datum, suggest otherwise. What is that? The wildlife population linked to 18% of human fatalities has declined by 7%. On the contrary, some groups say they have to be culled because of increase in population, but the facts are entirely different. On the contrary, decline is there, go down by 7%. Snake bites responsible for 75% of wildlife related deaths. This is surprising. I think I told yesterday, in our country we have only 4 species that are venomous snakes: cobra, viper, Russell's viper, pit viper, and crate. But a lot of people die every year because of the fear factor. Snake bites responsible for 75% of wildlife related deaths have fallen from present perfect active voice 113 in 2012 to 34 in 2023. Almost a decade, the number came down drastically, plummeted. Overall, human deaths from wildlife encounters have decreased from 146 in 2018 to 57 last year. Numbers have come down, but the sentence says some groups are demanding, calling for culling of wildlife because of population boom. That is not true. To substantiate that, with the word however, the data has been presented. And last sentence talks about what? Overall human deaths from wildlife encounters have decreased from 146 in 2018 to 57 last year. Yet, another contrasting word. This is no cause for complacency. Here you can understand. The numbers have come down. It doesn't mean that we should relax. We should not be happy. That's what it says. This is not the time to be complacent. There is no cause for complacency. A concerning trend is that many victims are from tribal communities traditionally adept at coexisting with wildlife. If you look at the fatalities and the victims, many of them belong to the tribal communities. That is a concern. What is the reason? They know how to survive in the forest. They belong to the forest. But unfortunately, they are becoming the victims. A concerning trend is that many victims are from tribal communities, traditionally adept, skilled at coexisting with wildlife. The government should investigate this as part of its newly announced mission to document and assess the traditional knowledge of Kerala's 36 tribal communities in tackling wildlife encounters. So Kerala government has to focus on this. Kerala government has to focus on this, should advise or suggestion, investigate this as part of its newly announced mission. What is its newly announced mission? To document and assess the traditional knowledge of Kerala's 36 tribal communities in tackling wildlife encounters. There are also several anthropogenic factors. Mankind, anthropology, study of mankind in time and space. So anthropogenic means caused by man. This is an important word. There are also several anthropogenic factors. What are those factors? Habitat fragmentation, particularly in elephant corridors such as Aralam Farm, Kannur, and Chinnakanal, Idukki, has forced animals into human settlements. Elephants have their own range, and if that range has been fragmented, they obviously intrude into human habitations. This sentence talks about that. Unregulated, one more factor. This is the first factor. Second factor, anthropogenic factors. Unregulated tourism, cattle grazing near forests, encroachments, illegal occupation of public property, and food waste dumping on forest fringes, borders, further exacerbate the issue, make the situation worse. Third reason, invasive plants, Senna spectabilis, and monoculture industrial plantations like palm oil or some other plant, mono. Mono means only one, monoculture. Cultivating one particular plant hundreds of acres. That is known as monoculture. Invasive plants and monoculture industrial plantations have also disrupted wildlife feeding patterns. Disrupt, we have got many a time. Means what? Border, I have already said, 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐇𝐢𝐧𝐝𝐮. Fringe means border. Forest border, imagine there is a forest border. All this is forest area. And this part is known as fringe, means the border of the forest. Disrupt means interrupt. In response, the Kerala government in 2022 empowered local bodies to eliminate feral wild boars damaging farmland. Based on all this, it seems Kerala government has given the permission to local bodies to eliminate feral wild boars, untamed feral wild boars damaging farmland. Last year, the cabinet classified human-wildlife conflict as a state-specific disaster, allowing the Disaster Management Authority to interfere, to find a solution. The government's decision to emphasize participatory forest and wildlife management is a step in the right direction, given the extreme use propagated by some sections. Participatory forest and wildlife management involving the communities, involving the local bodies, the people, that is a right step, editorial opines, given the extreme use propagated by some sections. The Forest Department has restored 5,031 hectares of natural forest and built ponds and check dams. Whatever has been done by the Forest Department, this sentence talks about that. However, restoring areas dominated by industrial plantations such as eucalyptus and acacia is a challenge. There are certain plantations like eucalyptus, they extract oil, eucalyptus oil. It is not easy to deal with those. Acacia also. While solar fencing has shown some success, the 52 crore elephant-proof wall at Aralam, one of the 12 conflict landscapes, remains incomplete. It seems a particular project, what is it? Elephant-proof wall is not complete, incomplete. The state's 10 missions to mitigate human-wildlife conflict must be prioritized. We must prioritize something, active voice, something must be prioritized, passive voice. 10 missions are there, it seems, to mitigate human-wildlife conflict. They must be prioritized. Given the region-specific nature of the problem, a multi-agency approach involving the disaster management, revenue, local self-government, tribal welfare, agriculture, health and forest departments is crucial to balancing human safety and sustainable wildlife management. I think the heading starts with safe and wild, wild and safe. Do you remember? It ends on that note. One has to take, what does it mean? To solve the problem, the conflict, human-wildlife conflict, holistic approach is required. What is this holistic approach? Involving all the stakeholders and thinking of sustainable measures. That is going to provide a solution. In the long run, that will be useful. Let us go to questions based on this. Try to answer the first one. What was one of the key government measures implemented in 2022 to address wildlife conflict? The government allowed local bodies to eliminate feral wild boars. A complete ban, no. So what is the answer? Answer is the first one. Very good. You guys got it right. Why does the editorial mention the decline in human deaths due to wildlife encounters? To argue that wildlife conflict is no longer a serious issue? No. To emphasize that the problem is getting worse over time. To highlight that despite the decline, the issue remains critical. Very good. C is the answer. Wonderful. And based on that, editorial says there is no room for complacency. We should not become complacent. Why is a 52 crore elephant-proof wall at Aralam significant in the editorial? It shows a successful resolution of human-wildlife conflict. It highlights an incomplete project that is yet to be finished. That's an important project, but yet to be finished. Yet to finish, active voice. Yet to be finished, passive voice. B, very good. Within no time. Which of the following factors is not mentioned as contributing to human-wildlife conflict? There are so many factors. Which one is not the actual factor when it comes to human-wildlife conflict? Cattle grazing near forest mentioned. Dumping food waste on forest fringes mentioned. Invasive plant species mentioned. Climate change not mentioned. Answer is no, no, no. Not mentioned. Which of the following factors not mentioned? A, B, D mentioned. C not mentioned. Climate change causing habitat destruction not mentioned. C is the answer. What is the editorial's overall tone? Alarmist and fearful. Neutral and factual with concern. Seems okay. Strongly against wildlife conservation. Sarcastic. Neutral and factual with concern. Concern for people, concern for wildlife. Now we have questions based on, one more is there. What is the best title for this editorial? The Rising Threat of Wildlife in Kerala. Balancing Conservation and Human Safety in Kerala. We should always balance wildlife conservation, protecting the environment. At the same time, development, people, balancing act is important. Now we have questions based on mini-mocks. Try to spot the error. First one. Identify the part of the sentence that contains an error. If you answer this, you should be happy, not an easy one. They may give a similar one in the exam, a lengthy sentence, formal context, goes with pharmaceutical industry or sector, not at all easy. You can answer based on contextual awareness. No one has responded. Question number 1, error location. No. After cough syrups made by pharmaceutical companies based in India, which had unacceptable amounts of D-ethylene glycol and or ethylene glycol, killed 66 children in Gambia, the regulatory authorities took immediate action. Here we have two actions. First one, some people got killed. That is the first action. Based on that, authorities took action. Second action. Here there are two actions, but for the first action, we should use past perfect. And second action, past tense, nothing wrong with this. Here we cannot say killed. We have to say had killed. Had killed. Why should we use past perfect? That is the first action. Second action, authorities took action. That should be in past. Had killed is the correct one. The question is based on past perfect tense. Choose the correct word to fill in the blank. The evidence provided by the BBC investigation left no room for doubt. When there is no room for doubt, what is the word? You cannot challenge, you cannot deny. Irrefutable. The irrefutable evidence means no one can challenge. They have video evidence. B is the answer. Very good. Choose a correct word to fill in the blank. I think got repeated. Okay. Choose a word usage. Choose a sentence in which the word notoriety is incorrectly used. The company gained notoriety for manufacturing substandard medicines. Perfect. His acts of charity brought him great notoriety. This is positive, this is negative. Answer is B. The politician's corruption scandal led to widespread notoriety. Acceptable. The journalist wrote an article about the factory's notoriety. This is also right. Answer is, this is incorrect. B is the answer. Wrongly used. We have important words here, meanings try to match. Lethal. Lethal means what? Causing death. Deterrent, something that stops. A measure to discourage actions. Irrefutable, impossible to disprove. Generic, not specific, general. A2, B3, C1, D4. Exactly. Important words. Identify the correct meaning of the given phrase from the editorial. Under the spotlight. What is the expression here? Under the spotlight. Under the spotlight means what? To be ignored? No. To be the center of attention or scrutiny? Punishment? Okay. To be the center of attention, to be in the limelight, to be in the public. B is the answer. And we have the last question related to double fillers. The pharmaceutical companies' illegal activities have put India's reputation at risk, making it crucial for the authorities to take action to serve as against future violations. Take immediate action to serve as a deterrent. This itself is the answer. You don't have to go beyond. You can save your time. Immediate action for what? To serve as a deterrent, prevent against future violations. Lenient? No. Strict? No. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Thanks for being with me till the fag end of the session. Once again, happy Shivratri. Enjoy the festival. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.